Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and we're back early this morning talking about family here on Effective Living. It's all about helping you to create a life you don't need a vacation from. Understanding that there are elements of your life you can take control of. If you don't like where you are, you can do something about it. And so the truth is, you were created to win. Yep, let me say that again. You were created to win, but you have to decide to win. You have to be very intentional about how you show up on a daily basis winning. If you don't know how to do that, one of the things that I've been teaching my clients is someone is assigned to help you. You are not alone. You got to get to the point where you realize there are ways in winning and then there are ways in losing. And if your life is not coming out the way you want it to come out, you need to start studying what is it that you've been doing that's causing you. This morning, I'm joined with my special guest. She is no stranger here on Effective Living. She is none other than Deborah D. Smith out of Jacksonville, Florida. How are you doing, Miss Deborah?
I am doing wonderful. How are you this morning?
Listen, I am doing incredible as well. There's an overcast sky outside. It's coming across like it's not May. Some other time of the year it feels like. I almost feel as though I can light my fireplace, but I won't. I won't do it. I won't. But this morning, I'm thinking, Miss Deborah, you and I, you have a platform, Build Your Best Life. I'm Effective Living. And our goal is to help people. Tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself before we dive into this morning's talk.
Okay, good morning again. And as Coach Miller stated, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm married, have 4 children, 6 grandchildren. I am a children's minister at my church. And I love working with children and helping anyone that I can. And as he stated, my platform is Build Your Best Life, where I make it my goal, my commitment to help young men to overcome obstacles. And so those are some of the things that I enjoy doing. But one of the things that really makes me happy and I enjoy doing, having fun, is spending time with family. That is a fun, relaxing time anytime I'm able to do that. So family is important.
Family is important. This morning, we want to give some attention to that. There are a lot of people, Miss Deborah, who unfortunately they don't feel the love. They don't feel the strength. They don't feel the essence of family. Unfortunately, it could be for a number of different reasons. But at the end of the day, there are people out there that feel alone. They just feel outright alone. And they have siblings, but they don't feel connected to their siblings. They have extended family members, but they don't feel connected to those extended family members. In your opinion, over the years, I mean, what have been something you've noticed that causes people to just not do well with family?
Well, some of the things I've seen, sometimes we come from, I'll say we have generational curses. And so a family may have come from low income families. They may have had alcoholic parents or whatever. And so some of the kids may react in one way and some in another. But you may have a child that says, you know what, that was my past. I want to do better. I'm going to grow. And then the other siblings look at them as, oh, they think they're better than we are. Yeah. Because they are trying to climb up and be better. They're not trying to say, I'm better than you. Come on and join me. Yeah. They want their entire siblings and their children to do better. Every generation should do better. But some are complacent and okay being where they are. They're just stuck and it's okay. And so then they begin to, they don't value what their siblings are doing by doing better. So they think they're the Joneses. They think they're better than we are. So then that pulls the family apart. Is one thing that I've seen.
One, I totally agree with you. And there is this need, ladies and gentlemen, to study, to pay attention to the characteristics that is being formed in your family, good ones and bad ones. There are some behaviors that are very healthy, And then there are some behaviors that are not so healthy. I've written down a few of them, Miss Deborah, and I'm going to throw them out there to you. I'm going to challenge you. Let's talk about them a little bit. We got some good people watching us. If you guys are watching us this morning, tag a family member, tag a friend. There are some people out there that they're just not winning in life because the whole element of family is not well structured. It's not put together. And listen, guys, if you don't do right with family, chances are you won't feel the power and strength of family. Let me say that again. If you don't do right with family, you won't feel the power and strength of family. Somebody said, well, none of my family care for me. Well, how about, do you care for your family? You know, they don't check for me. The question is, do you check for them? So Ms. Deborah, the first thing is I want to talk about is this whole concept of being patient with family. If you're watching us this morning, I'm joined with Deborah D. Smith out of Jacksonville, Florida. And we're talking about family matters. Ms. Deborah, I have discovered that we're patient with everyone else but our families. Right. Sometimes we're patient with the people on our jobs. We're patient, with outright strangers. But a lot of people they're not patient with their family. And here's the deal. Your family is your tribe. Your family is the people when everybody else moves away. These are the people that's going to remain. The role of being patient. I mean, you have kids, you've seen extended family members. The role of patience in relationships, the role of patience in family. How important is it?
It's very important. And you have to have patience. So you have to realize that even though you're family and your unit, each person is different. Yeah. Each person is an individual. So they have different personalities. Not everybody is going to be like you. Yeah. You may be a person that's always wants to be punctual. Yeah. You may have some siblings that's always late. But you can't just say, well, I'm not going to invite them because if I invite them, they're going to be late. And I want this to be perfect. Yeah. I don't care how much planning you do, it's going to be according to God's will anyway. Yeah. But that's your family. You know they're late. So whenever they come, they enjoy. But you include them. And we have to, reach out to them and make sure that, you may invite them and they don't come. Yeah. They always find an excuse. But each time you need to include them. You don't uninclude them.
Let's talk about this, Ms. Deborah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining, what is the most challenging thing that you find to be when it comes to dealing with family? Now, I know, Ms. Deborah, this is the thing that grieves me. If you can have patience for other people and you can give them a pass, why are you giving your brother such a hard time? Why are you giving your sister such a hard time? You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you came up a little bit in life and you got some good people around you that, that have acquired some things, but now that's your sister. There are people, that's your mom, that's your brother, that's, what I'm saying, that's your cousin. Even, it doesn't even, it's your friend, lifelong friend. You don't want to give some form of patience, as you just mentioned, failing to realize there is difference between us. And that difference is going to cause us to not function exactly like each other. I mean, that whole element, be patient, be kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just the same as you go out and you and have an encounter with someone. Say they miss and brush up against you and you say, oh, okay, no problem. Yep. But if your sibling does that, man, you pushed on you. Why you put up against me?
Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah. So you're quick to snap.
Right.
Quick to snap at a family member. Quick to snap at a sibling. Quick to snap at a friend. And it happens, And a lot of times, Ms. Deborah, people are wondering, why is it that I'm alone? Why is it that nobody wants to be around me? Hey, Vanessa, good morning. Good to see you guys. Billy, good morning. Justin, everybody popping in here. Thank you guys for popping in. We're talking family this morning. We're talking about things that you can do that can help this whole concept of loving, caring, and appreciating family. Ways to watch this. Ways to make your family life better. Is it possible? Of course it is. And so we want to talk about practical things. I'm joined with Ms. Deborah D. Smith. You wrote a book, and that book is Build Your Best Life. There are a lot of people who don't realize, Miss Deborah, these characteristics that will hurt the model of family. There's jealousy in family sometimes.
Oh, yes.
There's jealousy in family. Let's talk about that for a moment. I mean, obviously, what I have and what you have may not be what God desires for either of us to have in relations to being the same thing. So what God has for you may not be the same thing he has for me. But if I'm not comfortable in accepting what he has for me, sometimes we find that jealousy emerge. And I mean, jealousy in a family is a dangerous thing.
It is. It definitely is. And, that jealousy that stems back to, we started on the same playing field.
Yep.
I decided to go this way. You decided to go that way.
Yep.
And it's okay if you are, you decided that you wanted to go in a profession and you're doing much better than I am. You got a nice home. You have a pool, you have a nice whip, and all this, and I don't. It's okay.
Yep.
I have made the decisions I made in life. So if I have the, mid-sized car that costs $20,000 off the lot, and I'm got to start a home, it's okay. I should not be jealous of you. I should be happy for you. You were able to make it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I've never understood. When somebody's able to make it, they work hard, they earn these things. They shouldn't have to be, timid. Well, I don't know. I'm going to buy this car, but I don't want to let them know because I know there's going to be some friction. That is just so crazy. Be happy for your siblings and other people,
Isn't that sad? I mean, it's sad to have family members. You don't want them to see your new car. You're afraid to tell them you're buying a house. Or as a matter of fact, you bought the house and took a while before you told them about the house. I mean, the root of that. I mean, the unhealthiness in that is amazing. The unfortunate thing is, Miss Deborah, some people don't have anybody to share their victories with. They don't have anybody to share their wins with. I mean, to have family members who are jealous of you. Now, I mean, God forbid, if someone's watching us today and you're jealous of a sibling, I mean, come on, you got to work on you. But jealousy at the core is dangerous, Miss Deborah.
That's dangerous. That's very dangerous because that just eating on the inside of you, and it causes you to do other things. So you're jealous of that person. And then if they have an event and you go to it, you sitting in the corner.
Yep.
Look at there. Oh, they think they all that.
Yeah.
And so then other people can see you acting that way. So it just tears the whole family up. Your jealousy and envy impacts others because others see you. Regardless if you don't say anything, they see your reactions.
Hey, what about those family members who throw shade? They show they throw shade. They come over the house. Miss Debbie, your house look like, look like y'all don't even sit in your sofa. It look like, this car isn't even used. I mean, come on now, y'all flaunting y'all money around. There are family members who do you agree or do you believe that shade is a form of jealousy? If you guys are watching us this morning, go ahead and write it in the comment sections. We want to know. When you see family members throwing shade at each other, jeers at each other, is that connected to jealousy? If not, help me to understand. What do you believe that's connected to?
Yes, I do definitely believe it's connected to jealousy. That's just like, I believe as soon as I get up and start getting dressed or whatever, I make my bed.
Yeah.
Before I go to bed at night, there's not going to be any dishes in my kitchen.
Yeah.
But you don't come in and like, y'all got a maid? It's clean in here. No, I care about what my house looks like.
Yes. Now, there are people. I struggle with this. Okay, Carol Crocker says it leads to bitterness. It is bitterness at the root. Shade is a form of jealousy. Thank you very much, Miss Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a sibling and you're or a family member that's throwing shade to a family member, and you know at the very core that it ain't right. And as Miss Deborah mentioned, I mean, she did the work to make sure the dishes was clean. She did the work to fix her bed when she got up out of it. You too can discipline yourself to get what you got, or will get. The reality of it is, though, there are people who they won't celebrate you, all right, and but yet they have access to you, and it's a hard feeling, Miss Deborah. It's a hard feeling to not feel the love from a brother or a sister. It's a hard feeling. Some people actually, as a matter of fact, later on, they find themselves actually suffering from depression and just overwhelmed by the lack of family support. I want us to talk about that for a moment, but before we do, I can remember years ago, people came to my home, Miss Deborah, and how they would show up. I was so caught up in trying to make sure that they wouldn't throw shade. I disrupted my home. In other words, I took the pillow out of the sofa, you know, the legs. I took some dishes out of the cupboard and put it in the sink. Listen, man. Listen, I'm telling you, God is my witness. I ain't lying to y'all. And I was a young man, but these were people who came. Oh my goodness. You know, and it is common that until I had to build the nerves up to say, if you can't celebrate, appreciate my atmosphere, the environment that I have built for me and my family, then maybe you don't welcome it. Maybe you don't need to be showing up, because I'm not going to allow anybody to come in my space and try to make me feel some kind of way about the progress that I'm making. How, in your view, the confidence that is necessary to keep moving forward when family don't support you and you're feeling some form of jealousy, how do you respond? How do you believe someone should respond?
Well, just as you did, but you have to have that confidence. You have to get to a place, because people can make you feel so bad. Because I know someone, I'll say that's close to me, they don't want you to dress better than they do.
Yeah.
Now, if there's something wrong with your attire, they're going to point it out. Well, you know, why do you have on that necklace? You should have on this color.
Yeah.
But if you look better than they do,
Yeah.
and that's not what you're trying to do, you just put on whatever you want to put on. They oh, that's what you're wearing?
Yeah.
But you have to get, you don't let anyone make you dummy down your intelligence, the way you dress, the way you keep your home. Don't let people dummy you down. If they want to be on that level, let them get down there in the pigs by themselves.
Come on. But there is a level of, when it comes to family, confidence. Developing confidence in family is necessary for thriving in family. Let me say it again. Developing confidence in family is necessary for thriving in family. There are some family members, if you don't develop the confidence that is necessary for winning, you will find yourself being overtaken by family. And what you are now progressing in and enjoying in life, they will try to make you feel bad about it. I mean, developing confidence is not an automatic thing. There are a lot of people who live a long time, Miss Deborah, and have not developed confidence. To be able to just brush it off and say, you know what, whatever, I'm not going to allow that to contaminate my spirit. I'm not going to allow someone in my family who's not doing as well as maybe I'm doing. I'm not going to let them, dim my shine. I'm not going to allow them to cause me to not respond to life the way that I'm supposed to respond. The truth of the matter is, here's the deal, I'm going up. I have no intent on coming down. So now you have to learn how do I keep growing, Brady Robinson? How do I keep growing and going when I know I'm feeling hate? I'm feeling some form of jealousy among my family members.
All right. Sometimes it's really, really hard, because as you say, you're putting in the work. They're not there when you're, sweating your brow out, and you're, going to work, you're staying late, you're doing that job, you're trying to start your business because you want your family to have those things that they need, as well as prepare for the future. So you're trying to do the right things, and you communicate to them, hey man, I'm thinking about starting this business. We can do this janitorial business, get it off the floor. Then we can get workers. We don't have to do it, but that's a thriving business. We're gonna
Yeah.
always need people to clean offices or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, why you want to do that? But then when you get the business started and you start bringing in that money and you're able to, take maybe a vacation to Paris or whatever. Oh, where he get money to do that from? Well, I tried to help you and show you, but then they, like you said, they want to throw shade at you now.
Yeah.
But you gave them the opportunity as well. So it is hard, because you're being pulled both ways because you're trying to assist and help.
Yeah.
And you're doing that and you're being, that's just crazy. I don't want to do that. But then when they see how that helps you, makes you better, then they have something to say about that too. So, it's like they say, darn if you do and darn if you don't.
Yeah. Is it possible though that there are some family members, guys, if you're watching, please put a comment in the comment section. Is there some family members you think that didn't see you winning? They didn't see you buying that house. They didn't see you holding your head together. The way you started, it did not appear that you would win. And now you're winning. And you're progressing. You started that business and you suggested to them to start the business, but now you started that business and they did not, and now your business is taking off. You decided to go back to school. You decided to take care of your children and invest in your children properly, and they're growing up and they're doing well. It's a sad case when you have family members who didn't see what you are becoming and starting to have this bad vibe, the energy. I was talking to a potential client a few weeks ago, and she was saying, I have a store, and no family members had come into the store yet up to that point. And she said, well, and then when the first family member came in, the family member was just outright rude. Was just, can family members be rude? Come on. Or are family members a little bit more rude to family members than they are to other people?
Yes. I don't know why, but the answer would be yes. Wow. They can come in your place. It's like she said, I don't know what type of place this is, but let's just say it's a dress store or whatever. They come in there. May I help you, ma'am? Do I look like I need help? I'll let you know if I need help. But you got good customer service in your place. You got a nice establishment, but then you want to be nasty to the help. Then you see something, wonder if they get this made out of the country, in the country. Where they get this from? Why they had to get on this street? Look at it. It's designed and here look like you're in somebody's house.
Walking your spot.
Somebody else's story to be okay, but because that's somebody that
wow,
you want to bring it down.
Wow. So walk in your spot and say, I don't like this floor plan. I don't like the color. Why you pick this color? This is an ugly color. Hold on, what do you have? Where did you come from? Why did you go there? Dealing with rude family members who don't know how to bridle their tongue. Well, sis, I'm going to always keep it real. No, you're going to always expose your jealousy. That's what you're going to do. Right. You're not keeping it real. What you're doing is exposing your heart. And what you got to do is you got to learn how to celebrate with people who are winning and not be so negative because, I believe in family. I believe that there are a lot of people, however, they're struggling with family, Miss Deborah. But a rude family member, that's a struggle. That's a hard one. When you get up every day and you're working, and sometimes there are people who, like you mentioned, they're burning the midnight oil. Okay, they're waking up early. They're trying to prepare for their kids. They're trying to manage their environment. And then someone comes over to your home, a family member, and then start throwing jeers at your small forms of progress. That could be a Debbie Downer. That's a lot to come out of. And it causes people to really want to give up sometime. But I'm here today to tell you, don't give up on improving yourself. Okay, right. Set the standard for your family. Set the standard for your family to the point where you start to realize, I'm going to be the example setter. Okay, I'm going to be the example setter. As a matter of fact, when I see rude behaviors in the family, I'm going to be the one to plant seeds of positivity in my family. That whole negative energy, here, let me tell you something. If you feed negative energy coming from a family member, chances are you will become a negative energy family member after a while as well. So now maybe you may not be coming off negative to the family member, But now you leave the family member and you call a friend, and now you're spilling over the negative energy you got from the family member. Now you too are starting to come off like a person nobody wants to be around, because you picked up from your sister what your sister had, your brother had, your cousin had, that wasn't good. You got to tell yourself, I'm going to be the standard bearer. I'm going to be the example setter. How important is it for us, Ms. Deborah, to just really evaluate our behavior to make sure that we're not doing what we're discussed about?
Well, sometimes it's hard because, we are flesh,
Yeah.
and people can really, push those pain points. But at the end of the day, we have to realize I can only control myself.
Yeah.
Am I doing anything wrong? You evaluate yourself first. You look in the mirror. Who am I? What am I doing? What am I portraying?
Yeah.
If you are not that negative person or whatever, you have to continue to do what you're doing. However, that person that always makes you feel so uncomfortable when they are around, you have to continue to invite them in, because you still want that try to make that family cohesive. So that patience, and that's where all that comes back in. I'm going to include them. I'm going to be nice around them. When they throw that shade, I'm just going to make light of it. It may be hard, but you guys suck it up. I always say stop, take that breath, and then respond. You have to be the better person. You are the better person. You're working hard. You're doing what you need to do. You're following God and the purpose He has for your life. And you cannot let them bring you down, because we know that mindset.
Yep.
And you don't want to get that negative mindset. So you continue to do what you're doing. You continue to include them. Be positive when you're around them. And sometimes you just have to tune them out, But it's hard.
Let me ask you this question. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen, to love family from a distance? Do you have to love them from a distance sometimes? Is there a place where you start to realize, you know what? I used to see you once a month. I may just need to see you maybe once a year. Maybe I used to see you every weekend, but I need to go to once a month, because the way you're showing up, I want to love you. I want to appreciate you. But the way you're affecting the way I feel on the inside, you're affecting the way that I think, and it's not working well for me. Could it be that to someone, the way a family member is responding is a kryptonite to Superman? You know what I'm saying? And listen, man, I love you. I just don't need to be around you. Is that true? Can you say that? Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who've ever been there before? I love you. I'm just choosing not to be on the phone with you as long as I would normally be in times past. I heard someone said this, Miss Deborah. I thought it was interesting. But they said, there are some people, it's just a few minutes phone call. That's all they can have. There's a few minutes phone calls. Then there's some people who can promote themselves up to lunch. They could do lunch. You can do lunch with them, and that's about it. All right. And then there are others you can do. You can go to a conference and spend half a day with. Right? You all can spend, and then there are others you can spend a day with. Then there are others you can spend a weekend with. Then there are others who they can come spend vacation with you. You all can travel together. But those are different people.
All right.
And you have to know somebody who's only for a few minutes. If you find out that you're keeping that person for the weekend, it can cost you a few years off of your life. What's your thought on guarding your space and paying attention to whoever it is that you bring into your space?
Well, I think it's important, as we talk about including family and being patient with them and everything. I was sitting here and I was thinking about, sometimes it's just hard. You want to be around someone or you want to attend something, but you just get in your mind, you can't do it. And, I'll say I had this situation, I'll put it that way, where I think I dress okay, but it's a certain environment I can go around that I know I'm going to be watched from the tip of my toe to the top of my head. They got to analyze everything I have on. So I feel very uncomfortable even going, because I'm going through my closet. What can I put on? What can I put on? No, I can't put that on. No, do I need to go buy something? Not, and it's just nerve wracking. I'd rather stay home.
Right. Yeah. Right. Wow.
So it can get hard.
Yeah.
But you have to take care of self.
Yeah.
And be comfortable, because you don't want to get into a situation where you have low self-esteem and you're going to have anxiety every time you interact with someone. So it's family. You want to love them. You want to be inclusive of them. You want to be patient with them. You definitely love them, but you got to love yourself too. What's best for you?
That is such a great story. Thanks for sharing that with us. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a therapist, and she mentioned that she was dealing with a client, and she said, I had to advise the client. The client says, every year we do this particular thing as a family, but it is the most stressfulest time of the year. It's the most stressful experience in her life. And she said, well, why do you go? She said, because we all have to go. But I'm telling you, listen, I can't sleep nights before I go. She said, well, you need to change up how you do what you do. And so she said, she suggested, listen, you can still love them from a distance. What to do is go ahead, and the person is financially secure. She said, go ahead and just send them a catered, tray of desserts and send them something else and say, hey, work. I can't make it this time, but I'm going to just bless I'm taking care of the desserts, right? Mm-hmm. And so the person said they did this and felt great. People eat up the dessert. She did not have the ulcer. Just wasn't growing sick from the inside, because she decided that, this is not a good environment for me. They don't make me feel good. Everything is all negative. You bought that house, it was too big. I don't know why you need an extra car. Well, why is it that you always try to up people when you come around? Why do you think I'm upping you when it comes about my dress? I just like dressing the way I do. Well, nobody. Oh, you're a little bougie now. You know what? You've gotten a little bit in life, and why you letting it get to your head? And so forth. And so it was just so much negative energy coming from so many different people. And she said, really, what she had to show her client was, and this happens in family, ladies and gentlemen, that you can grow apart. You can grow apart. And so what has happened is this one person has become hugely successful, acquiring all of what we would say success will give to a person, money and fame and all of this good stuff. And when they show up, the vast majority of the people in the family are still living at a very, very low level. Okay? And so that's where you all are at, and this is where we're still family, and the person is wanting to come around, but when they come around, it's just the constant jeer. We saw you on TV. When you gonna do something for the family? You know what I'm saying? Well, you're doing for everybody else. When you gonna do for family? And it's like, it's just been year after year of bad experiences. Well, the person decided, you know what? I'm not going this year. And it was one of the best years of their life, just choosing not to go. The decision to not go into a space that's not good for you, how important is that?
That's very important, because like I said, you have to take care of yourself. And if you're going to have to, not sleep days before, you're going to be sitting there and it's like, oh my goodness, and when you're not in a place where when you're in a place and you're uncomfortable, you feel it all over your body. Mm. Your body speaks to you like, hey, what are you doing to me? It's very uncomfortable. You may start getting knots in your stomach. You don't want to eat. And they go, she thinks you're too cute to eat. Well, your stomach is all tied up in knots. So no, you don't want anything to eat. So it's very, very hard. And you have to, you try. So I'm trying. But the more I try, this is why I didn't want to. You're proving that I was right. I should have protected myself, but I'm here. And it's just a bad situation. So why put yourself through that? Is it worth it? I don't think so.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm talking with Miss Deborah Smith. We're talking about family. Family does matter. but there are telltale signs of behaviors that you need to pay attention to. And I just want to help. I want you to know that you should not shun family. You should embrace family. I think family is also built, developed through that of a tribe or community. You could find that there are friends who you may have had for a while in your life. They may not be biological family. They may not be your siblings, but they just as good as family. Sometimes they're even closer than. Let's talk about this whole element of keeping scores of wrong in family. I think it's a destroyer of family. I mean, I've been talking to family members and friends who, I mean, my cousin did this to me when I was 16, and I'm telling you, I told him I'll never forget. And my mom, and my brother, this, and it's like keeping scores of wrong, not realizing, you know, the person then may not be the person now, but you're not letting go of what happened. When the truth is, if the person apologized, you all have grown up and it's years later, but you're still holding that thing. It has the potential to affect family. It'll affect siblings. Right. You know, mom, you always treated him better than me. You always treated her better than me. Oh, you know, in hindsight, I didn't realize, you know, honor attracts favor. Okay? Let me say that again. Honor attracts favor, and he honored me a little bit more, so he got a little bit more favor. Okay, she honored me a little bit more, and she got a little bit of favor. I did not intentionally do it that way. I just want you to know, wherever honor flows, favor follows. Okay, now, Miss Deborah, there are people who are watching who just won't let it go. It happened in the family. But the truth is, we got to get to the point where we realize that person is no longer the person, but I'm still holding on to the thing. And it's hindering us from being a family that we ought to be in relations to growing and loving and developing a better future as family, because I'm still holding on to something. Let's talk about letting go. Letting go.
It's important to let go. And the number one reason is tomorrow is not promised to anyone.
Yeah.
So you're holding on to something. What if God decides to take that person away? Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah.
And you've been, you know, holding on to that, hating them and making other people around uncomfortable around that person. You need to let it go, because as Coach Miller said, people change. And people cannot do better than they know to do. Mm. So am I the same person I was 30 years ago? Most definitely not. Yeah. You know, people grow. Hopefully, everybody is trying to grow. That's what I'm trying to build your best life. You're supposed to evolve. Yeah. That's why it's always important to have that effective life, effective living, because you want to get better and better, doing things that make you have fun or whatever. So if you did something years ago and you offended someone and you said you're sorry and you sincerely sorry, they need to forgive you and just ask God, you know, hey, allow me to let that go, because it's making you feel bad. It's making them feel bad. You're making the people around you feel bad. But whether you believe it or not, it's like a cancer. It is eating you up inside. And if that's what gives you the high blood pressure and all of this, because you're holding on to that and it's just eating you up and it's causing you to treat other people a certain type way because you feel a certain type way. But if you let that go, you will feel so much better. Now I'm going to tell this little quick story that when I was born, I was not adopted. I was given away. And there were other children in this family. So it was the mom, the dad, the grandmother, and I think it was four siblings older than I. And, you know, you hear these stories through the years. So I was told this story that I was not the husband's child. So he told them, you can't feed her, you can't touch her, let her cry. And so my mom came and got me. And so because of the community, I knew who they were. But it was like, oh, that was just so hurtful to me to hear those stories, because I was like, okay, that was one thing for him to say that. But for the mother
Yeah.
to say, okay, I'm gonna allow this man to say, I can't touch my child, I can't feed my child. And then there were kids that may have been old enough, and the grandmother. That ate me up for years. And I told you the other day, I used to go off like that. I mean, and one day the God just dealt with me, say, hey.
Yep.
God knew what he was doing.
Yep.
He didn't want you in that environment.
Yep.
If you did not have the parents that you have,
Yep.
you would not be the person you are.
Right. Yep.
Those kids didn't do anything to you. Why do you not want to have anything to do with them? Because they would try to have a relationship with me, and I was like, no, you're not my brothers and sisters.
Yep.
They didn't do anything to me. But that was eating me. That was causing me to fly off at the handle and be mean to people.
Yep.
So that you have to let that stuff go.
Wow. Wow, what a testimony, Miss Deborah. What a testimony. That is so strong and so necessary to be shared in an environment like this, because you're correct. You have to let it go. And I'm grateful that you decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to let it go. One of the things that I had to do over the years when it comes to family members and friends who may have done me wrong was that I've learned how to pray for people, Miss Deborah. Let me tell you, when I say I've learned to pray, and I found that there are some people who say, I can't pray for them. I'm like, which God are you talking to, that if you can't pray for them, then who do you think is listening to you? Right?
Right.
But going to that place of saying, Miss Deborah, I'm going to pull back and see a bigger picture of like what you experienced and say, you know what? God had it all worked out. Look at me now. What the enemy meant for bad, look how God brought it out to make me who I am today, and my life is not over yet. I'm continuing to evolve. I'm continuing to blossom. I'm continuing to flourish. I'm continuing to succeed, but I like what you said. I had to decide to let it go and just leave it alone and say, God, I don't know what that was about, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. And for those of you that are watching, I want to add something else to that. I want to say, go ahead and pray for them. Ooh. Listen, I was dealing with a client a few months ago, a husband and wife, and they were saying, listen, they were so wrongly dealt. Both of them didn't want to pray for the people. Like, Jesus Christ. Both of them, they were like, listen, man, I ain't praying for them. You know what? I was done so wrong. They was wrong. They invaded our space. They stole from us. They did this. They did this. They messed up our names. You know what I'm saying? Someone messed up our credit because we went ahead and did stuff for them that we should not have signed for them. And we got our back turned on. I say, pray for them. I said, if you're believers, the Bible say, pray for those that despitefully use you. That's what it says.
Yes.
I didn't say it's going to feel good. But I'm telling you, the best way to free yourself from someone who has done you wrong is to call for the blessing on their life. Father, I pray for their children. I pray for their finances. I pray for their health. I pray for their peace. I pray for their minds. I pray, God, that whatever they put their hands to will prosper. May the rest of their life be the best. Let me tell you something. When you pray for someone like that, even if your heart's not there yet, your words and your minds will start to transform your heart to have its rightful place in dealing with them. And then when you see a person in the future that you're praying for, let me tell you something, you won't have that energy of disgust. Oh man. Miss Deborah, let's talk about this for a moment as we close our talk out this morning. The need to pray for someone that you feel and sense that bad energy. It could be family members, it could be friends. Going as far as to say, you're in the same room, but you don't want to be connected to a person, like trying to avoid eye contact. It's bad when you're trying to avoid eye contact, when you're choosing to go through an extra door. Well, she comes through that door, I'm going to go through this door. Oh, she is over there, I'm going to stand over here. He is over there. Oh my goodness, we can't be in the same building. Oh, no. What's going on there? What's your view on this as we get ready to close our talk out this morning?
All right. As you said, you need to pray for them, Again, look at all the extra energy you're taking to avoid that person. You're just wasting energy, and they're going to be who they are. You don't want to try to figure out why they act the way they act. Let them be. I can only control me, but I can pray God,
Yeah.
you know, please help them to be better. If I am doing something wrong,
Yeah.
please show me what I'm doing wrong, and I'll be glad to ask them to forgive me. But Heavenly Father, just show them the way, guide them, and lead them to be more like you.
Yeah.
I want to be more like you, but help them to be more like you.
Yeah.
And it's not taking anything from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Miss Deborah, what do you have going on? You have a great book out. It's called Build Your Best Life. There are people who are watching us today. They have not gotten that book. You need to get Miss Deborah's book. She will sign the book. I got my signed copy, ladies and gentlemen. If I got my signed copy, you should get yours as well. Tell us a little bit about your book and something about your platform and how people can follow you.
Okay, you can follow me at www.buildyourbestlife.org. And on there, you can get to my social media sites. I'm on all social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And on my website, I also have a blog, and I release a new blog every Monday. I do 3 live videos each week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. And those are on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. My book, Build Your Best Life, you can get an autographed copy, as Coach Miller stated. You can get that on my website. I have a web store where you can get that book, get it to you quickly. I have them in stock. As well, you can see the other services that I offer: coaching, consultation, speaking engagement, webinars. And I'm also, Build Your Best Life is my business. I'm committed. That's not my slogan, but I am committed to help.
Yeah.
So you get that book, it will assist. My platform is about young men, but my book is for everyone. It helps pastors, coaches, mentors, parents, and our young men to follow basic principles in building your best life. And if you're in the Bahamas, Anastasia Smith has copies of my book, so you can get them readily. As well, if you want it just like that and you want an e-copy, Amazon.com. But as always, I appreciate everything that you do for me, Coach Miller. I thank you for having me on your platform this morning. It's a way to get me up early.
Well, I noticed your husband, Dan, was on this morning. He said, listen, I'm on watching. I'm enjoying the show this morning, so I appreciate both of you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, this is the month, y'all. We have our Memorial Day weekend fitness in the park. We're going to pray in the park. We're going to have some games in the park. It's all going to happen between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. We're going to show you how to take care of your body and have fun. I have a professional trainer coming out. And here's the deal, guys. You're going to get your shirt, Effective Living shirt. You got to make sure, rep the you got to say gear. You want your gear to be able to say, hey, I'm creating a life I don't need a vacation from. Effective Living, that's what it's all about. If you have not gotten the book yet, make sure you get the book. Get the book. Get my book. Get Miss Deborah's book. Let me tell you something. You won't regret it. But come out to this event if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'll be signing books at this event, but more so than that, this is Memorial Day weekend. We want to have fun together, okay? We want you to have fun with us on Memorial Day Saturday. That's that weekend from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we're going to be doing an Effective Living photo shoot. We're going to be doing a photo shoot, Miss Deborah. Here's the deal. This photo shoot is centered around this whole concept of establishing the brand of Effective Living and monitoring the development of my life. And we're going to do it as a tribe. So want to be a part of the photo shoot that's happening on Memorial Day weekend? Go ahead, register for the event, get your shirt. Make sure you bring a couple of your friends and say, hey, we're fitness in the park. Your body is the vehicle God uses to fulfill your assignment. When your body expires, your time is up. So Jim Rohn says, take care of it. It's the only place you have to live. So make sure you make every effort to be a part of this upcoming event. Go ahead and follow Miss Deborah and check out all that she has going on. Her website will bring you up to date on all of the wonderful stuff she has going on. Miss Deborah, have a phenomenal day. God bless you.
Thank you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless you. Bye-bye.